Have you ever looked into your aquarium and realised you didn't have as many baby guppies as you thought you did? That could be because the guppies themselves are eating their own babies. In this video, I'm not only going to explain why guppies eat their babies, but also tell you how you can prevent it from happening. Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Richard and I'm a fish and shrimp keeper based in the UK. So guppies are one of the most popular tropical fish in the fish keeping hobby. They are kept worldwide and have been popular since the late 60s. I first started keeping and breeding guppies over 30 years ago. One of the reasons they are so popular is because they're so easy to breed. Give them a box of water to live in, feed them well, and they will produce more. So why do guppies eat their babies? Guppies display a behaviour known as filial cannibalism, which results in an adult animal eating her own babies, usually immediately after birth. Guppies show no parental care for their fry and do not distinguish their own offspring from any other fry in the vicinity. Filial cannibalism is a phenomenon where a female animal gives birth and then turns around and eats its own newborn offspring. There is much debate amongst researchers as to why some animals do this. One credible suggestion, which certainly makes sense in terms of guppies, is that the female is only eating those babies that don't possess the instinct to hide immediately after birth. She is only eating the weak babies and by doing so strengthening the gene pool overall for future generations. Guppy fry are small and vulnerable to predation, and for the species to survive as a whole, it is really important that newborn fry possess the instinct to hide immediately after birth. Without the instinct to hide, an entire batch of babies could be eaten within minutes of being born, reducing the chances of the population overall surviving. When guppy fry are born, they are free swimming and totally independent. Unlike some members of the cichlid family, like angelfish, guppy parents take no responsibility for their young at all. So how many babies do guppies have? Well, the number of babies a female gives birth to is directly related to her size. Young, small female guppies may produce as few as 6 babies at a time. Older, larger females can give birth to as many as 200 babies at any one go. How can we prevent guppies eating their babies? Whether you're breeding for fun or for profit, there are a number of techniques you can use to increase the number of guppy babies that survive. The technique you choose may be dictated by available space or money you're prepared to invest. So suggestion number 1 is using breeder boxes. Breeder boxes are plastic boxes that float in the aquarium. The female guppy is moved to the breeder box just prior to her giving birth. Once the female is in the breeder box, she is safely separated from the other fish in the aquarium. The female will then remain in the breeder box until she gives birth to the babies. Inside the breeder box there is a grid. When the babies are born, they will drop down through the grid into a second section, safely away from the female. Once the female has given birth, she can be removed from the breeder box, leaving the babies floating in the breeder box safely away from the adult fish. The baby guppies live in the breeder box for the next few weeks until they grow large enough that other guppies no longer consider them as food. Suggestion 2 is using a separate aquarium. If space allows, moving the pregnant female to her own separate aquarium just prior to her giving birth will increase the number of fry that survive. She can be moved and then left in the new aquarium until she has finished giving birth, then moved back. Before moving the female, make sure the temperature and pH of the new tank are the same as the original tank. The new tank should be decked out with lots of hiding places in the form of rocks, pieces of aquarium safe wood, and plants. Floating plants are especially good as their trailing roots create an almost infinite number of places for the guppy fry to hide. Suggestion 3 is using a heavily planted aquarium. Another way to reduce the number of guppy fry that are eaten is to make sure your guppy tank is heavily planted with live plants. A tank full of wisteria or java moss will help reduce the number of fry that are eaten dramatically. Guppy fry are programmed to head for cover the minute they're born. By providing the cover they're looking for, you tip the scale of odds in the fry's favour. How do you know if the female guppy is about to give birth? Throughout the female guppy's pregnancy, her belly will grow. In the few days leading up to the actual birth, the female starts to look boxy. Her belly starts to square off at the bottom. She will develop 2 dark patches at the back of her belly just below the tail. These dark spots are known as gravid spots. There is no mistaking the look of a female who is just days away from giving birth. One thing to bear in mind, whatever your reasons for breeding guppies, you don't necessarily want every baby to survive. Some guppy fry will just be genetically weak and not destined to survive. It's just a sad part of breeding fish. If you actively want to increase your guppy numbers, consider using one of the methods in this video. Just bear in mind, the more guppy babies you save, the more adult guppies you will have in 3 months' time. It's easy to get overrun with guppies. And if you end up in a position where you need to find ways to control your guppy population, why not watch this video next? Thanks for watching.